All right, good morning. So as Shireen said, this is a warm-up activity that will hopefully just set a really welcoming tone for the day by asking you to connect to one another and talk about what it means to take action towards a sustainable future. So last year at the summit, we led an interactive activity that asked everyone who was here to envision a thriving and sustainable Indiana in the year 2035. So, 10 years, like what are you all going to be talking about when you come back for the Sustainability Summit, the 18th annual Sustainability Summit? We're gonna, getting to know where everyone's coming from is like a really critical component of taking action. So we're gonna start with some introductions before I reveal what we're gonna do with all those things on your table. So I'll introduce myself. My name's Laurie Giarratani. I'm the Director of Learning at Carnegie Museum of Natural History. And I'm here at the summit today because our museum has collections that help us understand the history of the Earth. And through science and public engagement, we're really trying to make sense of that history to understand not just where we are in the moment, but how we can work together towards a collective, sustainable future.
And I'm Alexis Thorbecke. I'm the Public Programs Manager at Powdermill Nature Reserve, which is the Museum of Natural History's ecological research station. And my job is basically to take the science that our scientists do and turn it into stuff that is useful to other people. Sometimes that's super fun camps with kids. Sometimes it's coming here and talking about things like sustainability and what we know about the natural world around us and how we can use that information and move forward into the future.
Yeah, and more specifically, we're here because of the Climate and Rural Systems Partnership, which is an NSF-funded research project, which we've recently concluded, but still have a lot to share, and we're excited to keep this work going. Over the last 6 years, CRISP is what we like to call it for short, helped us build a network to support professional learning and public engagement about climate resiliency in our region. And CRISP welcomes participation from organizations across urban and rural communities. And together we built a network of individuals who wanted to support one another in how we talk about this really important work that we are doing on climate resiliency, even when those conversations can be hard, because there is such a wide, even though there's a lot of agreement that we need to work on climate resiliency, how we do so, there are many, many ways to get there. And in particular, we had great participation in our project, unsurprisingly, from many of the organizations right here in Indiana. So the League of Women Voters, the Evergreen Conservancy, the Indiana County Conservation District, and the Stormwater Group that meets monthly so that everyone can talk about how you're reaching the public. So we've connected with all of you over the last 6 years. You've been part of the network that helped us build resources for supporting conversations. And so even though the research project is concluded, we've got the tools and the conversation continues, and we're excited to share that with you today.
Okay, you may have noticed that there's cards on the table that say stuff on them that are sticking up. For this activity, we kind of wanted to group you to be able to talk to people who might be working on similar stuff to you. So take a look at the card on your table. All of the different cards are listed up here. If you would prefer a different issue area than the one you are sitting at, now is your time to find a different table. But if you're fine sitting at the table that you are at, that also works. Just gonna give people a minute.
That's what they're listed.
Yeah, so we have flood and natural disasters up here. High quality of life, low cost of living is over here. Clean air and water is over here. We have another low cost of living. Energy over here. I saw a civic engagement somewhere. Oh yeah, there's some. Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's some outdoor recreations hiding over there as well. Okay. If you're still moving around, we're going to keep going, but feel free to keep on. Okay. Once you find a table, I'm going to give you a minute to talk to people at your table. Maybe you already know them, maybe you don't. Just let everyone know your name, organization, if that's related to why you're here today, and why you decided to come to this event today. So maybe a minute to talk amongst your team.
So we just need, I hate to stop a good conversation because that is ultimately the goal of this activity. However, we want to be able to take you through, just set you up for a focused conversation about to carry this future visioning forward. So just a, kind of refresher or an introduction if you weren't here last year. When we did this visiting session last year, we prompted discussion and really kind of just specific. We asked you to think about what Indiana County's economy, community, and environment would look like in 2035. And so there were even kind of specific prompts, people will move to our area for fill in the blank. And this generated about 200 ideas on Post-it notes. Some of the groups synthesized them during the activity. The rest, we took them all back to the museum and had a good look through everything. And we grouped your ideas into, well, initially we grouped them into 6 different topics, and then we learned you had 16 tables. So we thought, okay, wait, we're gonna make eight different topics so that we could evenly distribute ourselves. So what you're starting with today is a synthesis of the 200 unique ideas from last year. So the themes that emerged, Indiana County maintains a high quality of life and a low cost of living. There was a theme about having the public be engaged in planning and decision-making. Our region is resilient to storms and other natural disasters. Indiana County is recognized nationally for its approach to energy diversity. Healthy air and water quality support thriving communities. Outdoor recreation, including its biodiverse natural areas, support thriving human communities. We invest in training a modern workforce to address community priorities. And our local farms nourish our community and support the regional economy. So when you get started at your tables, there's even a little more detail from those things and some snapshots. You got 3 of the Post-its neatly transcribed onto examples. So when you get started, you might want to take a closer look at those. I'm going to kick it over to Alexis for next steps.
Okay, so on your table, as well as a paper with some select Post-it notes from last year and a little bit more of a description of the category, you'll also find this fun bubble diagram. On the bubble diagram, there's kind of 3 areas: people and perspectives, sustainability, and resources. So what we're going to have you do is, based on your issue area that's on your table, that's in the center of your bubble diagram, talk about these questions with your group and start to write some answers down. So you're probably not going to get to every single question, all the bubbles. So try to hit at least 1 bubble from each of the different color areas. But this is your time to think about, okay, this is the future that we want for Indiana County. How do we get there? What do we need to do in the next 10 years to make it happen? And so I'm going to give you all 15 minutes and we'll see if the little timer starts.
Thanks so much, everybody. So I want to thank you all for talking together and picking up ideas that many of you put down on paper a year ago and just picking up the conversation today like it was yesterday. That was just so awesome and heartwarming to see. I was just floating around hearing little snapshots of everybody's expertise and just getting me really excited for all of the panelists and everything that we'll learn throughout the day today. But the really, wonderful thing about the visions that you have put down for Indiana County, they are all built on work that's happening today, and your visions just expand upon that. The ideas that you put down on this paper just show how many people are working on this. So the sequence of activities in our Climate and Rural Systems Partnership, the first time we did this activity, we just did the visioning. And it was like very inspiring to write the visions down. I think Ellen was there. We did it in 2022. And then in the afternoon, we like learned a bunch more stuff. And then we started getting nervous about our visions because we were like, oh, this is so big. Wait, I don't know if I can do it. And of course, no individual one of us can do it, right? You need to work together. And so adding the second piece has helped us just, again, kind of just as we can get our own individual visions on paper, we can get those collective resources together in one place. So we're going to leave those bubble diagrams on the tables. You are going to hear from many experts today who are speaking on these very topics. So if you feel that you've got something additional to add on there, you know, feel free to add more to it today. I'm going to pick all these up at the end of the day and scan them and send them to the conference organizers so that they've got a snapshot of all of your visions for action at this moment in time. Just one little housekeeping thing, just full disclosure, I was once a middle school teacher. So the materials on your table that you're not using, I mean, you're welcome to take if you like the visions and are inspired and want to like put one by your desk, by all means, you can have them. But if you're not using them, if you could just kind of maybe put them inside this, I could come around and just make it easier to pick things up when I come around to do that. So thank you so much. I believe we've got a few minutes. We're getting ready for the next speaker. So thank you.